All right. Thank you so much. Um, Hi, everyone. Um, Thank you so much for the Accelerant research team to give me an opportunity to speak to this group on this webinar. I'm going to talk about the UX generalist advantage powered by AI. Um, My name is Proshonjit Mitra, but my colleagues and friends call me Pro. That's easy to remember. I work as a lead UX research and strategy at Lucid Motors. I work here to improve the user experience of the electric vehicle ecosystem, and I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. Um, a little bit about my team here at Lucid. We are I'm part of a team that won the IF Design Gold Award for UX for the Lucid in-vehicle experience. Our Lucid customers will soon going to be able to experience this award-winning user experience in the upcoming Lucid Gravity SUV, which gets out next month. Um, I have been working here for nearly 3.5 years now. And it feels like such a long time because this is a startup environment and so many things have changed. Before this, I was working as a UX researcher at Toyota Research Institute, which was also in the San Francisco Bay Area, where I was working on autonomous vehicles. Yeah. So let me just dive into what the agenda is going to be like for this talk, and what I'm going to try to cover here. So I'll first start to talk about the value of versatility in UX roles. Why am I advocating for um, UX professionals to be more of a generalist? Um, and then I'm going to talk about how we can embrace AI to expand our impact as UX professionals or inside professionals, that for that matter. Um, then we'll look at some practical applications of Gen AI, generative AI in user experience, and I'll also talk about some best practices. And toward the end, we'll also take some questions from the audience. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, I think you can uh, place the questions in the chat, and we will address them after the presentation. Oh, I'm seeing some questions already. Do they give you Lucid Car to drive? Yes, they do give me Lucid Car to drive from time to time as part of my job as a UX researcher. All right. So let's dive into it. I wanted to start with, on a somber note, but this presentation is not going to be somber. It is a hopeful presentation. So let's talk about some insights around the UX job openings. Um, During the pandemic, especially in 2021 and 2022, businesses adapted to pandemic challenges, and there was a significant shift towards digital transformation. What this resulted was that there was a heightened need for UX professionals. So a lot of hiring was done. And by 2022, we sort of saw a peak in the demand for UX designers and researchers, and it had nearly doubled since the pre-pandemic times, reflecting the critical role of UX in digital product development. However, in 2023, as we may have all sort of experienced that the job market experienced a correction. And after the rapid hiring spree of the previous years, companies began to stabilize their workforce, and the adjustment led to a decrease in UX job posting. For instance, the UX research job openings dropped by 73% from 2022 to 2023. However, when you compare this to 2018, 6 years ago, there was still a 53% increase in UX research job postings, indicating there's still long-term growth despite some short-term fluctuation. As of mid 2024, The most recent report suggests that the US job market is showing signs of resilience and growth. Product design roles have rebounded, product management opportunities have surged, and UX research positions are also coming back slowly. Mm. So overall, I feel that the outlook remains positive with significant growth opportunities in the UX field. But we will see how the demand for the UX professional is changing. Um, so there is increasing demand for versatile skill sets. I'm just looking at a few here, but this I've seen a trend across a lot of different job openings across different companies for UX research roles or similar insight professional roles. So here's one from Reddit. Um, and so aside from researcher job openings ask for the regular, whether you know different methodologies for doing qualitative or quantitative research. They want to look at what your processes are. They want to see what your strengths are in terms of different methodologies. Um, they want to see how well you can communicate your insights and what kind of recommendations you make. These are all common across most job openings. But more and more, we're seeing things which are beyond the basic skill set for a UX researchers. We're seeing, things like craft video summaries of interviews and experiences of users, be a strategic partner to product and design, influence stakeholders across different functions, um, lead idea and strategy discussions through research, um, stay up to date on industry trends, contribute to strategic planning, um, communicate results and illustrate suggestions in creative ways, fuel ideation, and for some specific roles, we are also seeing requirements or rather nice to have around certain technologies. They want you to know Unreal Engine or Unity, or have some experience with Gen AI or immersive technologies such as XR. So what we see from here is that the role of the UX professional is expanding or evolving rather. Is going beyond just gathering and analyzing user insights to contributing across multiple areas, such as strategy and design. It's not just enough to just communicate your insights. You would want to drive product decision making, product road mapping through, by your contributions through strategy and design. That's how researchers may be able to make more impact in the coming years. So what we are looking at is a T-shaped UX professional. A T-shaped UX professional has deep expertise in research, and this is what a T-shaped UX professional looks like. You're expected to have expertise in your research methodologies. You need to know all the common UX research methods, but you're also expected to have a strong process around research. But your advantage really begins, I feel, when you are also able to contribute to UX strategy, perhaps, or business strategy uh, through persona development, customer journey mapping, product positioning, by conducting or helping conduct design thinking workshops, feature prioritization frameworks. As a strategist, you are the user's um, means of communication in a business world. You are speaking the language of the business by understanding the business needs, but you're also speaking the language of the user uh, but by inserting the insights you have created or found through your research. Um, you also might want to learn or might have to do some certain UX design skills. It might be good to know how to do some concept design work or sketching, or maybe your designer is unavailable to build a quick and dirty prototype, and they've built a certain wireframes, and you have some time to fill that gap. With and I've experienced this in my previous roles as well, where there was a need for building clickable prototypes, but there was no time or bandwidth for anyone to do that. And in order to run that study, that was the biggest blocker. So I started doing those things myself. But of course, these things take time. Um, Aside from knowing, just about all the UX functions, you may also have an advantage if you are able to understand how other functions that work with UX, um, how they work. Having some knowledge about the product management process, about engineers who frequently work with you, may give you better insight, or may teach you to better approach them, um, and communicate your insights better to them. And aside from knowing what you know best, which is your area of expertise or specialization, um, you may gain advantage if you know beyond your area of specialization, across different industries, maybe, or across different domains. Um, this may not only help you, quickly switch over, and adapt to a different situation, but also maybe if you're speaking with someone from a different industry, you may be able to communicate better with them or understand them better as a UX researcher. Um, so how do you strengthen your position by doing more? As I mentioned, being the ability to work across functions enhances job security and makes you a valuable asset in any team. Uh, when uh, when UX professionals understand product strategy, they can better advocate for user needs in ways that align with business goals, giving research outcomes more influence. Um, and with regard to proactive problem solving, when you can take on UX design or contribute to strategic decisions, you enable faster decision making, create more cohesive experiences, and add tangible value beyond insights alone. Um, I want to talk a little bit about broadening your domain knowledge. I feel we can always start with understanding adjacent domains. Knowledge in areas like product management or data analytics make your insights more actionable and relevant. Um, uh, for cross-functional collaboration with broader domain knowledge, you can communicate effectively across different teams, ensuring your insights don't just sit in reports, but inform real decisions. And you can have an enhanced empathy for users by understanding their industries, the industries that they come from, the backgrounds that they come from, or the context beyond surface level interactions. It allows you to allows for richer insights and more effective solutions. But of course, I said so many things that a UX researcher must do, but it has its own set of challenges, um, in expanding your UX role. Being a generalist doesn't come without its challenges, right? It can be easy to spread yourself too thin, losing depth in your core skills. Expanding skill sets requires time and mental load, which can be hard to balance with day-to-day responsibilities. However, these challenges are manageable, especially with help of tools and strategies to support your expanded role. You If there are younger professionals here who are listening to this talk, this means that you could seek out maybe mentorship, um, take advantage of training and development opportunities, and building a supportive network of UX professionals who can guide you. Um, there's also a lot of talk, or rather concerns, about how AI will impact job roles in UX, or rather job security in UX. Um, So there's a lot of concerns that people think there's a fear of AI replacing UX roles, especially with increasing automation. There's concerns that there could be a reduced need for human-centered roles. But research suggests that there are some studies that have been done that suggest that combining creativity and interpersonal skills, um, such as the way we do in UX design and research, are among the least likely to be fully automated. Rather, what we can think of AI is more of a complement rather than a replacement um, for roles that you demand user empathy, storytelling, and strategic thinking. AI serves as a supporting tool rather than a replacement. What it allows us UX professionals to do is it allows us to focus on the higher level tasks and the heavy lifting work, such as interpreting user needs um, or and designing meaningful experiences. This is the stuff that we can focus on. Whereas repetitive processes or data heavy work can be delegated to AI. So there is a balance between AI and the UX professional that can go hand in hand to improve our work environment and improve our productivity. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the rest of the talk. Don't fear AI, embrace it. Um, AI can help speed up critical workflows such as brainstorming, content creation, and research. It can help augment human capabilities and creativity, not replace them. Um, so uh, I want to talk about how AI tools such as ChatGPT or Copilot help you do more with less. Um, ChatGPT can help brainstorm user scenarios, suggest research questions, and even assist with synthesizing data to streamline your process. Um, how can you become an expert in a new field? Need to quickly understand a new field. Um, these tools can provide instant insights, helping you upskill without extensive reading or training. Especially this will come in handy when you're trying to talk with someone who is from a different industry or trying to understand more about their background. This skill comes in very handy. It can also help you in your prototyping and ideation, um, by creating or generating sample scripts, user stories, and even some design ideas. There's tools like Cloud.ai. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct. It can also assist with code snippets for interactive prototypes, speeding up ideation. And you just have a design and ask the AI to build a code snippet that can create the front end prototype for you. And it also helps you with documentation and communication. It can help you draft concise summaries, create alignment documents, or even role play stakeholder questions using ChatGPT to ensure seamless communications across teams. There are some practical use cases for AI that directly impact our UX work, such as synthesizing qualitative data, which can be a lot of text and may take hours or even days sometimes to extract themes and sentiments from 20 interviews that you've done. Um, it can help you, as I mentioned, build code snippets for your prototypes. It can help you generate personas with minimal inputs from your side. So let's look at some of these use cases that I have personally been using, and I can recommend based on my experience. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is conducting secondary research. So AI assists in secondary research in a few ways. You may be able to benchmark your competitor features. You can identify market trends. You can organize your research data more efficiently, or you have some different secondary research sources. You can create an organized insight across those secondary research sources. So here's an example I have from ChatGPT. What are the key UX features of top e-commerce platforms? Um, this is just an example. I'm for confidentiality sake, I can't give examples from my own work, but I have given similar examples from generic industries. Like for example, here it has given all the different features that are key for having good user experience to enhance customer satisfaction and drive sales. And now these prompts that go in Gen AI portals such as ChatGPT, um, they can be as creative or as specific as you want, so as that you're not spending a lot of time just looking for things that you need to look for. Like for instance, I used to spend hours looking for the right paper or right article to support, um, you know, to do just exploratory research work. Now it takes me a few minutes, maybe an hour tops, to just get to all the secondary research data that I want to find just by putting in the right words on this portal. So I feel that this is really powerful for conducting secondary research. The next one I want to share is persona development. And this has also really sped up our process of building personas. I'm in the automotive industry, and we're coming up with different, um, you know, car platforms in due course of time. It is essential for us to understand what's the market for different products, which means persona development is key strategy piece in not just the UX team within Lucid, but also our business in general. So we heavily rely on building personas that are backed up by research. As a research team developing personas, um, that process used to take days, weeks even, to come up with a persona that is grounded in real work, real research work. Um, Now it doesn't take weeks or months. It rather takes a couple of days to get the right research in, um, and start building a persona based on the accumulated research just by a few prompts on ChatGPT. What I'm not suggesting that you just copy paste this persona from here and um, get started and make your final persona from ChatGPT. But this is a great starting point and really helps us progress much farther than looking for all the research yourself, and and then build on that research, create those insights and build on that. Um, The next use case I want to share is the thematic analysis of interviews. AI can summarize user interviews by identifying common themes and sentiments, saving time on manual analysis. This has really been helpful for us as a team. We have been using a platform called Dovetail, um, and this is not a plug really. It's just a share out of this tool that is available on the market. That what it does is it's able to, on the video or the interview videos that you upload, for example, on this platform, it's able to create uh, transcripts from those videos. And then its AI features can create summaries as well as, create extract themes from these transcripts. And once you create those reports using those themes on the platform, you can tie it back to the videos. Um, all all of this happens pretty seamlessly, and it has really improved the way we write our reports. And it has really hastened that process of getting to the insight really quickly. Another use case that I feel is really helpful is summarizing and classifying customer feedback. Um, so tools like ChatGPT can classify large volumes of user feedback by theme, allowing quick identification of user sentiment and priorities. Uh, and I've just put here an example, a generic example of a generic uh, data set. But we do this internally as well with our customer feedback that we get from our customers, which has thousands and thousands of lines of thousands and thousands of comments. Um, and this Chat GPT or similar products, we have our own internal product here at Lucid, which can look at this data, read it, and classify it, uh, making it much easier to digest and highlight, what are the most important issues for our customers without having to go through tens of thousands of comments. Okay. The next one is designing surveys and interviews. It kind of seems like I'm bordering on all the tasks that a user researcher does. But again, I have a caveat here. AI can only help brainstorm and structure questions. It can help you get to a starting point. Um, but I'm not suggesting that this is AI can do the entire job of a UX researcher. But you can really speed in your process of getting to this point if you have a head start, and that's what it will really, that's where it saves your time, to be honest, provides that head start you need. As I previously mentioned, there are tools such as Figma, which with its new AI features, it's letting UX professional add interactivity to its prototype without extensive coding knowledge or spending a lot of time connecting the strings. If anyone here has tried to prototype using Figma or similar tools, you may have realized that it takes such a long time to just draw those strings, even if it is um, a simple looking job to do. Um, it can get pretty complex. And getting a head start using AI-based prototyping can really help. And then there are tools such as Cloud.ai that I previously mentioned that can help, that can look at a prototype or that can look at a design rather, or some wireframes, and provide you with code snippets that you can use to build the front end based on just visuals. AI can also help you brainstorm new ideas. It can generate feature ideas or UX elements for quick ideation sessions, helping overcome creative blocks. So again, this is all about getting a quick start. Generate, here's an example, generate 10 feature ideas for a meditation app. And it'll give you a few ideas, and not all of them are maybe super creative, but sometimes when you have a block, these ideas can help you. You can use these ideas to build on them to get to some place which might be really useful or creative. You can also tailor these prompts to be more specific and specific around certain requirements, and it will still give you you know um, some ideas that will be around that. And another important one, just related to that, is if you have these different ideas, different concepts that you're coming up with or recommending, uh, the next obvious process is to sketch those out. And sometimes our designers may not have the bandwidth to sketch out a new concept idea that you may be testing. And I face this myself in my current role, where when I'm about to do a concept evaluation, I do have all the concepts, but I don't have any concept sketches. That's where I've used the help of image generation tools such as DALL-E, which is also part of OpenAI, or Midjourney, uh, which can help you, do some concept sketching. It's not accurate. It's not perfect at the moment, But with a few iterations, you can get to a stage where it is visually representative of what you want to show your participant. And of course, with some caveat, you can caveat your surveys or the questionnaires uh, that all the imagery that you're seeing are AI generated and only representative in nature. They are not part of the final design. Helps you break the ice quickly and get to the process of doing research rather than waiting on concept sketches from someone else. So yeah, those are some of the use cases that I wanted to share. And I will talk about some best practices for using AI tools effectively. Some do's are that as these tools can be incredibly powerful assets for UX professionals. Um, uh, here are some best practices. Let's start with defining clear objectives. Be specific in what you ask. The more detailed your prompt, the better the output from tools like ChatGPT. Um, Iterate on your responses. Treat your interaction with ChatGPT like a conversation. Refine the responses iteratively until you get the quality and relevance you need. Um, and ChatGPT and similar tools, they understand context. So something that you've said previously, it knows that you already said it, and then you can build on that. Use AI as an enhancement only. AI tools are here to augment your expertise, not replace it. They're excellent for speeding up repetitive tasks and supporting ideation, but shouldn't replace critical thinking or user empathy. And lastly, maintain quality control. Super important. Remember that AI output is not perfect. Um, Always review and ensure that whatever AI generated content you want to use, it aligns with your project goals or is grounded in reality. Sometimes AI has this habit of hallucinations. And one way I've realized, the one way to avoid that is to ask these AI generated tools um, for reputable citations while doing your secondary research. So it can point to the source that it is um, citing a particular insight from. And lastly, some don'ts. There are also several key things to avoid when using AI in UX. Avoid using proprietary data with external tools to protect user privacy and prevent data breaches. Um, and I want to talk a little bit more about that. Different companies may have different approaches uh, with AI. Um, some companies may be strongly for using AI related tools. They have embraced that AI is the future, while others are still skeptical or on the fence about this. Um, Wherever you're working, make sure that you are aligning with the company goals in terms of what is the company policy around using these AI tools. Um, and which means that in certain cases, you may not be able to use or input proprietary data into these tools. In other cases, you may be able to do it where the company has, vetted a particular AI tool, and they have a private instance of your um, and the data is secured. If the company already knows that, and if you already know that, maybe you can use those tools more and use these less private or rather public tools such as OpenAI's ChatGPT for more generic um, searches. For example, for UX researchers, if you're trying to learn about a new domain, these open AI tools are very effective. Doesn't You don't have to really give any confidential information from your company on that portal, but rather learn from the tool. or it's helping you uh, quickly build a template for a research study. That's something that you can also perhaps do, even if your companies has not embraced these tools yet. Um, and lastly, don't over rely on AI for critical design decisions. Avoid relying too much on AI for critical design decisions, as this it can perhaps lead to inaccuracies and unintended consequences. That's why we have us, the UX professional, that's in the middle, making those critical decisions at the end, because it's on you, and you can't just say that the AI said so. So whatever you're doing, make sure that you're using it as a support tool only, and only to maybe speeden up your process, but not necessarily to make decisions for you. Um, Lastly, we are in a world, we're headed toward a future where um, UX is going to be in an AI-driven world. And our field is going to change with it. UX generalists will be well positioned to leverage AI as a collaborative partner. UX professionals have the opportunity to influence how AI is used in design, ensuring it serves user needs and ethics. Ethical considerations around AI are also becoming more crucial as we incorporate these tools into our work. We must remain aware of our biases or limitations in AI outputs. We've seen certain examples in news articles across the internet where a lot of these AI models have certain biases. So it's good to be aware of these biases while using them, um, so that you can, like any other research method, this is also this has its inherent biases, and it's good to know what they are. All right. That brings us to the end of the presentation. I want to end on just three things. Again, in conclusion, we've covered some best practices for AI tools effectively, explored the future of UX in an AI-driven world, and emphasized the importance of staying adaptable and curious. Here are the key takeaways. Embrace a generalist approach. Expanding your role beyond traditional UX research empowers you to contribute more deeply across the product's lifecycle. Use AI tools to amplify your impact. AI tools like ChatGPT allow you to handle more without sacrificing quality, freeing you to focus on higher quality work. Be adaptive and stay curious. The UX field is evolving, and so should we. Cultivate a mindset of learning and adaptability to stay valuable as the field advances. Do more with less. All right. Thank you so much for your attention, and I will open up the floor for any questions.
I can go over some questions we got throughout the presentation. So the first one's from Jana. She was asking if anyone is using AI to get to requirements. She says she's found it hard to do well when finding larger themes, or do well when finding larger themes, but it falls short when getting to specifics and requirements.
Hmm. I'm not entirely sure if I understand the meaning of requirements here. Um, I have personally seen used AI for I'll try to answer how I've used AI here. Um, Requirements for the product. Okay. Yeah, I feel requirements for the product is the process of getting to the requirements is still similar. Um, I feel that you are always driven by getting to the insight first and recommendations based on those insights. Uh, and the process of getting to the insight is still pretty similar to what we typically do. Um, uh, AI can help you create those summaries pretty well. Sometimes it will extract certain themes, but it's not always perfect. When you're, asking it to extract the themes from a bunch of uh, text, um, I feel that that technology is still very nascent, and it requires a lot of human introspection and intervention um, to get to the insight. But it does help you get to the insight faster by creating summaries of what you long bodies of text.
The next question we had come in was, what level of security do you look for with platforms like Dovetail, where your research is uploaded for its analysis and match?
We so I for me as a UX professional, I let the IT team and the InfoSec team in my company um, handle these questions. So whatever their policy is in terms of how do we how do these third party vendors are managing our data meaning company's data. Um, if the infosec team and the IT team, if they are satisfied with their answers, um, that's good enough for us to be using these products. Um, so that's I defer to those teams essentially, and I particularly may not be able to answer what exact levels of security um, they may be.
Okay. Another one going off of Dovetail, are there any other AI enabled tools you're using regularly where they are in-house or closed, unlike public ones?
I think more and more of these platforms are there are two types of vendors here. One is um, traditional research tools such as Dovetail and perhaps tools such as Miro. They are or Lucid Spark, for example. They are embracing AI features into their ecosystem and enhancing their features. So these you're probably using all of these tools already. Um, and then there is another a different set of AI specific companies which are now coming up, including OpenAI. OpenAI has their own enterprise version, which I'm not entirely sure what their security looks like. But I feel that if it should go through the regular process of your company's IT and infosec protocols to make sure that they are all compliant with them. So I believe that a lot of these newer companies, the AI focused companies, they are also building up those infrastructures to serve larger clients, enterprise clients with more secure platforms.
Okay. Um, that's all I see online, but I actually had a question. Um, so you mentioned different use cases for AI. When you're using AI in those, have you come across challenges with that, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Um, I did come across several challenges across different use cases, I would say. Um, One of the most common challenges is around image generation. AI doesn't really fully understand what you want out of it often, or messes up the details quite a lot. But these tools are also progressing; they are getting better by the day, and I've seen that these tools have evolved in a very short time. Right, like last year, this time it was pretty messy, but now there are features within the tools where you can iterate uh, pretty quickly and specifically to a particular area. For example, if there's an image and only one part of the image is not looking good, or it doesn't make sense, or it's gibberish, you can highlight that area and iterate on that area and ask it to focus or defocus on it. So that's how I have tackled the image generation challenges. I've also had challenges, as I previously mentioned, around some of the thematic analysis pieces. And for those, I have deferred to, as of now, manual processes and relied more on AI summaries for my reports. So for qualitative analysis, I use AI-based summaries a lot and don't use thematic analysis as much. So that's where I hope that the progress is made by tools such as Dovetail, which we are currently using, and yeah, hopefully it'll be better in the coming weeks and months.
Okay. And as AI progresses, how can like individuals make themselves more competitive with that changing environment as researchers as a whole and then as employees to companies?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned throughout this presentation, AI is not here to replace you. There is always going to be a need for that creative professional who, uh, for us, uniquely, we stand on the precipice of professionals who are both creative and scientific in some way, um, as well as empathetic. So this combination is really critical for us to continue emphasizing on, and that human eye will always be needed to, uh, you know, handle these tools better and give the right direction of finding the appropriate data, finding the appropriate insight, and what you do with the insight is still your it's a human thing. It's going to be dependent on heavily on the UX professional going forward. So um, focusing on my advice to someone who's thinking in that direction would be focus on having your high level skills strong, and make larger impact um, through you know using these tools by doing more with less. Um, and lastly, I want to talk about just how you can. I just gave a few use cases with regard to how you can impact your UX work with these AI tools. But as a UX professional, you can also make impact within the company if your company is still on the fence of using AI, maybe skeptic. Uh, you can perhaps try and understand how your company can benefit um, across different domains in the company within the company, how they can benefit through AI based on their use cases. This is something our research team did at Lucid, and we really were able to bring together the idea of AI and have a consistent narrative within the company. And this is how you can make a larger impact um, within the company as well, um, for driving this AI revolution. Um, yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, thank you. I'm not seeing any more questions come in, but I do want to thank you for your time. AI is a huge conversation now, and I only anticipate it becoming a bigger conversation. So thank you for your insights and making time for this.
All right, thank you so much. It was great speaking to this audience. Thank you.